Muhammad was born in the city of Mecca in what is today called Saudi Arabia at the year of 570 AD. His parents died early in his life. Muhammad was further raised by his uncle Abu Talib. Mecca was at that time a place of polytheistic tribes of Bedouins that worshipped around 42 gods and spirits. Muhammad was born into the Qurayshi tribe where his uncle Abu Talib was the leader. The Qurayshis was mostly merchants that worked the trading caravan routes in and around Mecca. So the story goes that one day at the age of 41, Muhammad travels up into the Meccan mountains to meditate, which he often did. This is when he claimed he was spoken to by an angel and started receiving the words of God through revelations for many years to come. Muhammad then came back to Mecca to start to preach about his revelations. Muhammad did not manage to get a great following at first, but the people who did follow Muhammad then allegedly to write down his revelations into what will be the Quran. Muhammad could not write down the revelations himself because he was an illiterate, he could not read or write. Muhammad angered many people and his opposition grew because he ridiculed their gods and spirits. Muhammad preached that they were all wrong and there is only one God. He too eventually got angry at the people of Mecca for not accepting him as the prophet. His own uncle Abu Talib protected Muhammad even though he did not believe in him, but one of those who opposed Muhammad the most was his other uncle Abu Lahab. Lahab felt that Muhammad was bringing shame upon the Qurayshis by insulting the faith of the people. Before fleeing Mecca, Muhammad cursed Abu Lahab. Perish the two hands of Abu Lahab, and perish he. His wealth and his children will not benefit him. He will be burnt in the fire of blazing flame. And his wife too, who carries wood, in her neck a twisted rope of Masad. Eventually Muhammad got persecuted and banished alongside with all Muslims from the city of Mecca. Muhammad and his followers escaped and then decided to go to the smaller and poorer city of Medina. His band of followers were quickly accepted, and he found it easier to get through with his message to the people of Medina as an outsider. Muhammad quickly gained popularity and became a preacher, politician, lawmaker, and a leader. But Muhammad also experienced opposition from the Jews in Medina who would simply not accept him as a prophet. So after gaining political power, he also became a military leader. This is when his military campaign started and things get more violent. He started to ride the very Qurayshi caravans he worked for early in his life. He knew their routes and could therefore easily rob them. Muhammad did several raids against the caravans that brought back big bounties for the city of Medina. Muhammad steals gold, slaves, whatever merchandise he could steal to enrich himself and the people of Medina. Muhammad also started taking over land and soon became a conqueror. Muhammad ordered and led around 100 documented military campaigns throughout his life where thousands of lives were lost. One of many examples of Muhammad's wrath when he got 600 to 900 Jews of who had opposed him earlier to dig their own graves and where Muhammad and his soldiers decapitated them. Boys down to puberty got their heads removed alongside with their fathers, brothers, uncle and grandfathers, while the women were taken as slaves. The persecution of Jews and Christians continued throughout his life with a measure of convert, pay tax, under total submission plus Sharia or die. By this time Muhammad was a successful warlord and had started to spread his Islamic state. Muhammad brought his army to the city of Mecca to take over the place from where he had been banished. Muhammad seizes the city swiftly and from here further spread his Islamic state violently throughout Saudi Arabia. Muhammad gave his soldiers Christian and Jewish women as sex slaves and had many himself, including his 12 wives, who also among them was a 9-year-old girl. Muhammad dies at the age of 62.